On this episode of Banterpreneurs, we unpack how to bring truth and authenticity to the roles we have to play in life, so we can be more congruent and get on with the shit that really matters.
Lindsay channels an old grumpy man to reveal how playing a role in life is like playing a role in improv.
Yes, and Laura likens our many roles in life to playing Doctor Who.
Who?
Doctor Who.
Solopreneurs, come on down! Unpacking all your business woes on the go. Your queens of business banter, Laura and Lindsay. You're in for a hilarious half hour of unconventional, unpredictable, unadulterated solopreneur shenanigans, jam-packed with pearls of wisdom and actionable aha moments. Let's get ready to banter!
Hello and welcome to this episode of Banterpreneurs. She is Lindsay. She's an improv teacher, a creativity coach, and she just loves to hate the internet.
Yes, I do. I mean, I do love the internet, and where would we be without it? I mean, where would we be without it, really, right?
Just sat talking to ourselves.
Exactly. Just pretending like I'll draw a picture of you. It's not going to be that good, but you're on the wall and I'm just going to talk to you, right? So, yeah, we love you, internet, but we hate you. We have a love-hate relationship with you. She's Laura. She is a professional speaker. She is an amazing coach, like one of the best in the world. I'm just going to say that.
Certainly the best in this room.
In this room. Yeah, definitely. And her fridge is looking a bit like an abattoir at the moment.
Oh my gosh!
I'm sorry. As a vegetarian, that's going to be like the blood coming out of the bottom of the plastic thing.
I'm so sorry.
I
realized after I sent you the message, I was like, that was a horrible thing for me to do. So just in case no one knows,
funny,
I'm married to an Italian, and we currently have a giant cow's heart in the fridge.
Oh, it's a heart.
It's a cow's heart.
Okay. And what lovely, delectable food will be coming out of that little monstrosity?
Well, look, I don't like to waste food, but at the same time, I don't want that heart to touch anything in my kitchen. So I'm not sure how he's going to cook it, and I don't want any smell to come out of it. So I don't think...
Well, there's a lot coming out of it already. I mean, that's...
It's so minging.
I mean, that's an Andy Warhol, picture somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's scary shit. Or it's a Stephen King novel. You know what I mean?
Or like a doco on Netflix. a 5-part series.
Somebody would do like a full art installation with that heart over days and just the amount of blood that's just like coming out of it. And that,
maybe I should do that.
You should do that. Make a lot of money. Like
it's not going to waste then.
Yeah, conceptual art. Art. That's what I think. Because I think artist is another role that you need to play right now in your life. I think you're not playing enough roles. I think maybe you should be an artist as well. A conceptual artist.
Yes. Yes, only conceptual one. Now, I would just like to point out how amazing my esteemed friend here is at a segue. Wow.
But come on, who thought cow's heart to this? Okay.
To this. Yeah.
To this. Right. Continue.
I forgot that we even needed a segue, so well done for doing that. So in our extensive prepreration for this podcast today,
so extensive,
5-minute chat before going live, we decided that we want to talk about roles today, not bread rolls.
I don't mean bread and rolls.
Sausage rolls.
No. See how we're on the same? Yeah, not bread. Although I would love to talk about bread rolls. I mean, they're good. Bread rolls are good, right? But that's not what we're... Yeah,
especially one is
vegetarian.
You can have it. Yeah, you can have a veggie one.
Yeah.
Some sort of pumpkin ricotta thing or something. That sounds.
It's got rosemary in it. Can I?
Sure.
And feta, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Okay.
Just when you're not busy with the big bleeding heart in your fridge, can you just?
Yeah, whip up a veggie roll. Oh dear! Don't.
Black sesame seeds on the top.
Food. Yeah,
as well.
100%.
Okay.
So. Again, if you don't know, I am with child. I'm soon to be like actually with child. I'm 2.5 weeks away now from
D-Day.
I think when we were talking about it, Lindsay was relating it to a show,
yes,
and how the curtains were about to open. But then all I could think about was beef curtains. I don't know if
it goes back to the heart in the fridge. Cattle, beef, beef curtains opening. My God, are we geniuses or what? I mean, come on.
Well, I'm not sure, because now I feel like everyone listening / watching is thinking about my beef curtains. That doesn't seem very genius to me.
Well, I can't help where people's head goes. You know what I mean?
Don't.
Okay, let's just stop. Let's shut that metaphor down. Okay, before someone gets hurt. Let's just shut it right down, okay? But there is a metaphorical curtain that shall be opening.
Yes.
For maybe a matinee, maybe a night show. We don't know when that's going to happen.
Yes. It might be an epic. It might be a short story. We're not sure. Hopefully the latter.
A musical.
I would love it if it was a musical.
A musical.
I'm going to try and make that happen. Anyway, so I'm about to have baby. It's basically what that last 5 minutes is about. And so I've been having conversations lately around how my role is going to change in many ways, like my role in life, in my relationship with my husband, in my business.
Society,
all
that, all that garbage, society and all that shit and what they think,
Yes, and one must fit with what society tells me to do. Of course. I don't want to be rejected.
Yeah.
So that obviously is interesting, and I think it could potentially bring up some interesting feelings and thoughts. I typically have gravitated towards more masculine energy. I'm a more masculine female.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
And so, but being a mother, breastfeeding an infant is extremely feminine. And I've always loved my independence, being a boss bitch, having my own business. I'm sure this is resonating with a lot of people out there. And so that's not going to be the case, at least for a while. And I think that could potentially be challenging for me. Hopefully it won't be, because I'm aware. We will see how that goes. But I think that it's something that is common within the business realm, right? We all have different roles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. And I would say it's much, much, much harder for women, but even men as well. When they become a father, their role changes as well. And that can be a problem for a lot of guys, and then a lot of relationships.
100%. And I've actually seen that with a lot of guys that I've coached, that they typically, when they become a father or know they're becoming a father, they go into the provider role in a massive way, and they really they kind of go into subconscious freak out mode in terms of, right now, this is my time, this is what I'm here for, I'm here to provide for my family. And then quite often, particularly as business owners, they start working a lot more because they have the pressure to make a lot more money and to be successful for their family, so they can provide for their family. But then in doing so, they become a lot less present.
Yes.
They don't necessarily value the tiny father moments, because that's not providing. So I think it's very, very prominent for the blokes.
For males. For the guys and shit, Because I'm just out there making a crust for me woman and their offspring. And then, she's like, he doesn't give a fuck. Like, he's never here. He's not doing anything. Oh my God, he just works the whole time. And I don't know why. I just turned into I don't know what, but here's me with a baby. Like, oh my God.
That's literally going to be me. And my hubby.
Oh my God, where is he then? Oh my God. Yeah.
And then he'll show up and I'll be like, oh my God, go away.
Yeah. He's like, just go back to work, you freak. All right. The baby doesn't even know who you are anymore. Okay, just go.
You're doing it all wrong anyway.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and look, that brings up a good point too. You know, the first thing I think of when you say that, because I'm sort of, I guess you're looking at sort of the role in a more immediate sense. I'm looking at it in society as I do, because that's what my degree is in, social science. You know, that like there is a lot of unconscious bias and unconscious pressure on women to conform to this sort of feminine, motherly, nurturing, warm. And it is partly to do with the fact, and Jung would attest to this, that, you know, there is an archetype of mother that we all have a connection to on an unconscious way. And, you know, that like if you go anywhere in the world and you say, what is a mother? Most people say unconditional love, warm, nurturing, all of these things. And then the problem is, you know, when you find out your actual mum's not like that at all. You know, because they're a person.
Well, how long you got for this conversation?
Yeah. You know, and so, but, you know, the shoes on the other foot in the other sense too. So, yes, you can sort of, I guess, tune into the archetypal mother, and everybody has the ability to do that. And everybody has this unconscious thing that this is what a mother is. But reality is very different from that. I think people idealize the mother archetype. And that can put a lot of pressure on women.
Yeah, 100%. And without even being a mum yet, I can see how that could. That's why I'm quite happy that I'm an older mum. I'm a geriatric mum, or an advanced maternal age is what they like to call it now. So they don't like upset you. I was going, I'm a geriatric mum in it, and they're like, oh no, it's not called that now. And I'm like, oh no, it's fine. I'm 41. God damn it.
Yeah.
But I am happy that I am, because I feel like I'm more comfortable at this point in my life with who I am. And so I'm hoping I won't buy into those pressures of living up to that archetype as much. But I can see, even speaking to my mum last night, we were talking about breastfeeding. She was like, I felt like a complete failure because I couldn't do it, because she was made to feel like breastfeeding is one of those archetypal things that a mother should be able to do.
Yeah.
And so she, as a person, just felt like she wasn't being the best she could be for her child, even though for whatever reason, as is for many people, she couldn't do it. So and I think
that's a good point. That's a good point. Getting mixing the role with the person. You know, I don't know what I just came to, but I'm just saying, like, it's like an improv, we play different characters or whatever, and then it would be like everybody thinking that every character that I play in improv is actually me. It's not me. There's an element of me. There's a truthfulness and an authenticity that character's coming through me. And I'm choosing to side with certain elements of like a character. So, you know, this one's more masculine, this one's more feminine, or this one's quieter, or this one's louder, or whatever it is. But no one else can play that role the same way, though. There's still an element of me, of authenticity that is there. And you would know the difference between, you know, if you were playing, you know, some grumpy old man and I was playing some grumpy old man, we're going to play that, you know, slightly differently. It'll still be seen as a grumpy old man, but there's an authenticity that underlies that. And I think that sometimes we will get mixed up between the role that either society or even ourselves through, I still believe it comes back to society at some point, that we have introjected those values from society, taken them on board in a very unconscious way, and then it becomes, this is what I should, we got should again, we love this word, we're always going on about this. This is what I should be doing, this is who I should be, this is how I should act, this is what values I should have in this role. And it's kind of like, yes, to a point, as in, yes, archetypally, the mother will, you know, be more warm, be more nurturing, but there's degrees of that. And it depends on your personal authenticness as a person, you know?
Yeah, and what you know, and what experiences you have, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Do you know what's really interesting? I just want to say before I forget, with the improv thing is, I think literally I've just had this thought right now. Sometimes I might not be able to embody a character as well as I possibly could, because I'm getting stuck in that thing in my head of, okay, I'm playing a grumpy old man now, therefore I should do this, this, and this, rather than just not thinking it.
Yes. Oh, there's something very deep and interesting about that. And if that was extrapolated out to life, like overthinking those roles rather than just going, okay, so I'm playing a grumpy old man. And then how do I do that?
Yeah.
How do I play a grumpy old man?
Yes. What a great question.
Yeah.
How am I a mother? How am I a business person?
Yes.
Like you said in improv, there's still that core-ness of you and that authenticity. It's just that you bring out and you hold back certain elements of that to suit the situation and the people within that situation and what all of those things require, right?
It's like the facet of a diamond. You see different facets, but the inside is still you. It depends on how the light's hitting the facet, and you'll see that facet. But I'm still a diamond, darling. Okay?
A fucking rough one, but.
What are you talking about? I'm a fucking cubic zirconia. Oh, I'm not a fucking diamond. Yeah.
But the core is always the same.
The core. Okay, it might not be real. It's carbon. It's still carbon. It might not have taken a million fucking years because I don't have that fucking long. You know what I mean? But yeah. So it's something to do with those facets. I mean, that's what it makes me think of.
I love that.
Like you're still a diamond, but it's just the facet. It's what way are we looking at the diamond in this way? How is the light shining on that part of the diamond,
Yes. Oh, I like that a lot. For anyone who is visual, like I am, like this is like is excellent. Okay, so where to from here?
I feel like we've solved it. Like I'm just like like this is the quickest episode that's ever happened. It's like, look, I'm really worried about this because it's a huge topic. Okay, it's huge, and then it's like done. Okay, So how is it? I guess if you're looking at the improv metaphor, like I think being able to play different roles is kind of fun as well in improv. It's kind of exciting, that you get to play these different roles. So, maybe there's an element of that as well, that we have a preconceived idea about certain roles not being fun or certain roles not being us or certain roles not being whatever. But we're thinking of it in the sense that you said, where we're thinking of the stereotype of that thing rather than we're thinking of that with our embellishment. Like, how do we come to that role? Because I mean, like, it always comes back to Poirot. Okay, that I've watched Poirot, the whole thing. But David Suchet, who is Poirot, people, nobody is better than David Suchet, in my opinion. But in saying that, a lot of people have played Poirot. So the script is the same. Oh, yeah. A lot of different actors have played Poirot over the years.
Like Doctor Who in that.
Yeah. Great example. So Doctor Who, I'll use that as probably more people know who Doctor Who is, quite frankly. But Doctor Who, we know there's a different Doctor, but it's still the Doctor. Yeah. And now even to the point the Doctor's become a female.
Yeah.
So now the new, not new,
horror.
But yeah, exactly, is now a woman, right? Yeah. But the Doctor is still the Doctor, is still the Doctor, is still the Doctor, is still the Doctor. It's just the different facets. Or the different. Yeah, back to facets.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question for you, which I'm not sure. I'm interested to know if you can answer it because it might just be an innate thing for you. I'm not sure. But so when you are playing a character, and you said that you still have your core, your authenticity at your core. I guess my question is, how the fuck do you do that?
Okay. Okay, how do I do it? I think the thing that comes to mind, and I'm going to get this quote wrong, I think it was Martha Graham, dancer, somebody, who said, with what you bring in the world, it's not your business to judge it. It's not your business to get too involved with it. Your business is basically just to be the channel for it.
Right.
So I feel like it's like I'm just channeling this energy. I'm not judging it. Right. I'm just channeling it. So I'm an old grumpy guy. I'm not judging that, and I'm not going into that means that I got to do this. I'm literally just letting go and just going, okay, I'm gonna relax, and I'm gonna go old grumpy guy, and I'm gonna just let my body like go into that form and maybe my face will go into that form and, I'm just an old grumpy guy that nobody loves anymore. I'm just that person. I'm just sitting there and nobody's really interested in old grumpy guys. I've got a lot to give though. That's what I feel. Okay, so there's an authenticity to the needs of the grumpy guy. Whereas someone else will play that grumpy guy, oh, fuck you, man, whatever.
Yeah, which is where I thought you would go. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, and that's not where I went because that didn't feel authentic to how I feel about grumpy guys, what I've got to offer that space.
And can I just quickly, sorry to cut you off, say how you feel at this time? If you were to be grumpy guy another time, maybe a different time of the month, perhaps?
Yes. That's menopausal, like premenopausal, perimenopausal, fucking period guy. Okay, that's who that is. Yeah.
I feel like he may be slightly different. You might channel some slightly different.
Exactly. Exactly. But then, why then do we have this? We want to channel a mother and our channel's like, fucking 10 millimeters wide, as opposed to my grumpy old man, who I feel like is endless. So that space of possibility is endless to how that can manifest into the world.
I love that. The space of possibility is endless. Is that what you just said? Because I had it.
So. I was channeling. So
whatever she said like 15 seconds ago was brilliant. Yeah. Channel that. But you're so right. Like we put ourselves in a box as mothers, as business owners, as partners, very whatever. Small. Whereas you're right, the possibilities are limitless. And the only way we can know which possibilities work for us at any given time is to fucking breathe, like you just said. Just channel what feels right.
Channel. Yeah. Stop, breathe, channel. That's what I would say.
I like that. Let's put that on the mug.
Will there still be a penis on that mug as well? Because I know you like, but I think we should just have beef curtains on there and just have stop, breathe, channel, and then just beef curtains. I think
no one steal that idea, okay? But that's ours.
No one. Intellectual property, man. Okay. Next thing we know, Ali Express or whatever. Fucking is it Alibaba?
Is it Alibaba?
Alibaba's going to be fucking producing these things. Yeah. Yeah. But they'll probably somebody's just listened to the recording, so they've only listened to that bit. So it's not even beef curtains as we know it. It's kind of like two cows with curtains or something.
Yeah. Do you know what though? In my mind, I'm thinking, oh well, that's nice that someone's listened to our podcast.
Oh, look, I'll have you know, I was in the back end the other day.
Oh, stop it.
And I was in the back end the other day, and we're almost up to 3,000.
We are.
Yeah,
I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
We're going to
so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
We'd be pretty good. We'd be pretty good. Yeah.
We're going to assume the role of celebration at that point.
Well, look, there's a good example. Okay, there's a good example. If you think of podcaster, you might have a certain thing in your head about that. I mean, I didn't do a podcast for a long time because I had the role of podcaster in my head. What does that look like? What do I have to do? Oh, that's fucking boring. I've got to edit. I've got a script, right? Until we had this beautiful meeting and realized, hang on, it doesn't have to. That role doesn't have to be like that. It could be an improvised situation. So
that's so true, actually. And even, I think if we bring this back to business for a moment, I have definitely fallen into the trap in my business career of being in that narrow box. So when I first opened my gym, which was my first on my own business, my box was about being professional Laura and business owner Laura. So I if I went to networking things, I had to wear corporate-y type clothes and had to be more serious and just act in a certain way and present in a certain way, which wasn't aligned with who I am at all. It was all bullshit, really. And that actually then put a lot of pressure on myself because I was constantly having to second guess myself. Felt like I was looking over my shoulder to make sure I wasn't getting found out for not being that person in real life.
Yeah, here comes imposter syndrome, which is going to come, man, because you've got an idea of the role and you're not putting yourself in the role. So of course you're an imposter.
Exactly. And I'm never going to fit up. I'm never going to fit completely into the role I think I should be, because it's not fucking realistic.
Yeah, exactly. Or, you're David Suchet playing Poirot, but you're trying to play it as Richard Chamberlain or something. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, no. I play the role the way I play the role.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it took me, unfortunately, a burnout to start learning that, because I'd put so much pressure on myself.
Nothing like a burnout.
Oh, nothing like a burnout, my friends. That is a facet you don't want to be shining a light on, let me tell you. And then
who was that you were channeling?
I was channeling that. What movie was that from? When Dude, Where's My Car? I think.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, okay. Well, they go up to like a fast food window thing, a drive-through thing, and then she's going, and they keep ordering, and then they're like, no, and then. People out there will get that.
Yeah.
And then and I went into coaching, and I felt like I definitely did go into the coaching box for a very long time, doing all the things you should do as a coach. Charge these kind of prices, write the book, be a speaker, say these things, do this kind of landing page, all that fucking bullshit. I know I've said the F word a lot right now, channeling my...
Who hasn't?
my future mother self.
Yeah. Getting ready for that role. Here we go.
Yeah. And then I realized, no, that's not who I am. But then I felt a big conflict, because I felt like that's who I should be in order to be successful in that. And then I've kind of gone on to this thing where I'm really loving podcasting and presenting. And actually, that's what I've always wanted to do. But I've always felt like I couldn't fit in that role, because I was thinking of the stereotypical role of a presenter. And I felt like I wasn't that person and not good enough for it. So it's actually rather sad when I think back on my business journey, how much of it has been governed by my need and expectations to fit into certain roles, and how that has really held me back in many different ways.
Yes. And I mean, even like the way that you were speaking about it then, and the way you were gesturing and talking about wanting to fit that role, and you were just like, your hands were like showing me just like a really small space.
Yes,
and then you opened up physically, because, your body is a metaphor for your mind. And it does feel like that, to open up to that space. And it's kind of like, it's kind of like bad theater. You know what I mean? Like the script's shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just fucking shit. It's just narrow and shit, and not deep and not authentic.
Yeah.
Good theater is authentic and raw and real and truthful, because theater's about truth. And what bigger theater than life?
Oh my goodness. What bigger statement than that, my friend. And that's why I particularly like improv as well, as opposed to even scripted theatre, is because if you're staying authentic in that space and channeling whatever you need to channel and going with whatever is thrown your way, there's no telling where it could go. Like, literally could go anywhere. And in my experience, most of the time it goes somewhere good. Might be random as all hell. But
totally
have that if you didn't do those things and just stay authentic to yourself and the process.
Definitely. So I mean, I think it's kind of unrealistic that you won't be expected to play roles. Like, that's just how our brain works. Our brain wants to label, categorize, put things into neat packages.
And it has to some degree, right, to make sense of things.
And also just like outsiders, so other people like expecting you to play a role, because in their brain it's just easier to categorize you, in some way. So you probably need to be aware that people want you to play a role as well, almost. I remember when I was doing my second album with Luke, and we were a duo, and we were very much into the new age kind of thing. And we were called Divine Union. Like, that's how fucking new age we were, right? And the songs that I had written, I had pretty much channeled, but they were songs of affirmation. So they were all very positive sort of, and the problem was, though, people kept projecting this role onto us that we had to be these gurus.
Right.
And we didn't feel like gurus. Like I wrote those songs in a very sort of special moment at my very highest of what I can be, but I'm not that every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so there was this incongruency between the role that everybody wanted us to play in this, like, we've got this perfect relationship and we're just so spiritually aligned and we know everything and we're teachers and we're gurus and this kind of thing. And what we were really feeling, you know, really thinking. And it was kind of like we didn't bring enough of ourself to that role.
Yeah, totally. And don't you think everyone does that every day? It's like, I have to be the perfect business owner and know everything all the time and make all the right decisions. I have to be the, you know, parent with my shit together all the time. Like, it's exactly the same thing as what you just said. And it's just not, we're never going to be that perfect image of whatever that role is all of the time.
And like you said, grumpy old man today is probably not grumpy old man tomorrow or in the middle of my cycle. as we spoke about before. And to be honest,
let's ask Luke about that one.
He knows better than me. Oh, you're due for you, am I?
It's the grumpy old man.
Here he comes. So look, the thing is too, I since I just started doing improv and stuff and explored different roles and how to come at those roles and how to just sort of be in the moment and be in the present and what is this moment calling for from me rather than what should I do in this moment. You know, I think since that sort of happened, I think I get away with more as well. Like if you play a role too much, people will expect certain things from you because you're that role.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean?
true.
But if you're unpredictable, you get away with a lot more. You know what I mean? Just saying.
I feel like this is a whole can of worms. I'm not sure that we should open right now. That's what I wanted to say about it, though.
Okay, good.
When you were talking before, I'd forgotten, and now it's just come back to me, around how people do want us to be certain things. When you said that, I started thinking about matching and mirroring and building rapport and how we talk about that, because, and this comes, that's NLP, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, there is actual like psychological research around it as well, like limbic attunement and mirroring. I think it was Bandura. It was about mirroring and attachment theory and stuff. Right.
I forget sometimes where these things come from. But basically the whole principle is, in order to build rapport with someone, in order to create a connection and a relationship with someone, you have to start by being on their level and being the same as them in some way, because what that does is it creates more certainty and more comfort. So then they'll relax more quickly and they'll be more
trust
open.
You quicker.
And they'll trust you, and then you can, you know, take the conversation and the interaction in whatever way you intended more easily, and everyone will win at the situation. That's kind of the point. And so that's very relatable to what you just said. Like, we do need to slightly be in a box for people to kind of understand, to feel comfortable, to kind of get where we're coming from. And I suppose that box is that kind of role. It's like, okay, I'm a mum right now, I'm a business owner right now, but then we have to remember that we have the power to define the facets of the box that people see, or the shape of that box. So you kind of need it to be in a bit of a box, but it's not a rigid box.
And I mean, even if it's to the point where it's a box until someone feels comfortable.
Yeah, and then it's
and then it goes out the window. Yeah. I mean, I remember getting my hair done once, and you know, because anyone who's on that just listening, I've got shaved sides on both sides, and usually some kind of wild color in my hair. And it was a really weird comment the hairdresser made, because she did my hair and she goes, "Oh wow, you know, that's a really nice dress. Oh, I didn't really expect you to be wearing a dress like with that haircut."
Oh wow.
It's like, okay, somebody's living in the 1910s, but you know what I mean? But again, it's weird, the sort of role, like, this person's wild, look how they got shaved hair and all this.
Yeah.
You know, so the people are just making this kind of association. But hang on, they're wearing a dress. What is that? Oh, hang on. Are they feminine or are they wild?
Yeah.
Which is what's going on? I think that's less these days, though, to be honest. You see a lot more sort of tattooed people, a lot more piercings, and yeah, definitely. Like for the younger generation, I think they sort of don't like that. They don't like sort of playing specific roles, and you know, they want to be sort of like masculine, feminine, or in between, or gender fluid, or whatever it is. So that's pretty cool. That element of it, I think, is pretty cool. You know.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm not sure how long that whole role thing will last for in the next 20 to 30 years. I think people are becoming a little bit more, I just want to be myself.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
know?
And I think we're in a stage at the moment where it's almost like it's gone from one end of the spectrum to the other.
Yes.
Where it's
but too quickly as well.
Yeah. And it's almost like there's a new box of that it's not like they're so not in the box, they're in a box. Do you know
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So again, it's just coming back to that authenticity. It's just reminded me of a conversation last night. My mum and dad arrived via Singapore from the UK, and I'd asked my brother if he'd hand me down some of his cool little baby t-shirts from his son. So we got one with Bowie on it, with Nirvana.
Oh, cute.
And the favorite one that I really wanted, it's got the Notorious B.I.G. on it, and it's all like Andy Warhol style. And then another friend of mine handed me down some little teeny tiny like sports socks. They're like white socks with pink rings. And I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to put my daughter in the sports socks with the Notorious B.I.G. t-shirt and just a nappy. Yeah. Like, she's going to look like such a badass. And like my mum and my husband were both like, you could see they were like, that's not very girly. So I think that I think my daughter is going to help, hopefully, to break some of those stereotypical roles that maybe are in the minds of my particularly mum and husband. I'm going to change the box via her. But anyway, I digress. I will I won't post a photo because I'm not going to put her on social media, but just know that will happen. She will look cool.
Yeah, we'll imagine it. We'll imagine what that. Yeah.
Or I did think if I wanted to post anything on social media, through, I think it's like Facebook Messenger or something, you can put emojis on their head. So I thought I could give her like a poo emoji head. We do that with my nephew when we're talking to him. Emojis on his head. Anyway, sorry, I've completely digressed.
Maybe not. Maybe there's a wisdom in that. You know, whenever you start thinking, I got to play this role, well, what would that look like with a poo emoji?
Yes.
If my head was a poo emoji, would I really fucking care about this role so much? I mean, would I?
That's true. I love that. I was swimming the other day and a guy walked into the swimming pool area with the poo emoji as a hat on his head.
Oh, so my God, I thought you were going to say something else. You said pool and poo, and I just was going to lose it.
I wouldn't be laughing at the same time. If that was where that's
I'd be running.
Going. Yeah, exactly. I shut my mouth and I got out of there.
Poo emoji hat. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm sorry. You need to bring this back on track, please. I'm not capable.
What do you mean? You're the surmiser, man. You're supposed to surmise everything and do a summary. Oh my God. Don't leave me. Please. That's not my role. I can't do that role. Oh my God.
Oh, what would you do though? If you had to do that role, how would you channel it? What would you channel?
I would say it's human nature that people want to be a role, see a role, play a role. But whenever you feel like you are limited by that role, as in the script is shit, whenever you feel that, I think the thing to remind yourself is, yeah, I am this thing, and I'm so much more than that.
And how can I open up to all of the possibilities within this role? And I think even we can do that proactively rather than waiting to feel like the script is shit. Literally, you know, today I'm going to be at home with my kids. Like, what does that mean today? It means I'm going to put my fun hat on and we're going to do some arts and crafts. It means, you know, whatever. We're going to put our tidy hats on and clean the house.
We're going to put our shit emoji hats on.
and run around like idiots.
Yeah. So it's like you said before, the question is, how do I play that role?
How do I play that role?
I need to know.
Yes, that's what you need to do. Everybody, just channel Celine. Was that Celine? No.
I think it was Leanne Rhymes. And then it was Leanne Rhymes. And through a really weird thing that happened, Trisha Yearwood did it as well. And because the record companies didn't talk to each other, they released it at pretty much the same time.
Oh, no. That's silly.
Bad. But like, no, come on, someone's not talking to someone. What's going on?
Yeah. That's a whole other podcast, effective communication. But that's what I'm really going to take away from today is to hang on. That just came by accident. But there it is. You had the same song, the same script with two different singers singing it. And if you do listen to those two versions, they are slightly different, even though it's the same song. Interesting. And who was more successful?
I'm not sure, actually. I might have to look that up. I feel like it was Leanne Rhymes, but I also feel like Trisha Yearwood wrote it.
Oh, that would be freaking annoying for her then, that Leanne Rhymes released it at the same time, especially if she was more successful.
It's kind of like, it's probably one of those situations where, you know how songwriters give like famous artist thing and they sit on them for a while, like, I might record it, I might not. And then she decided to record it and she got, fuck it, I'm recording my own song now. And then bang, like at the same time.
There it goes.
There
it is.
But it's only opinion who does it better.
Yeah, well, there's so many songs like that, isn't there? That people have done covers and actually the cover is better. They've done it in their own style, exactly the same script, like you've said.
Same script.
But they've done it in their own style. Oh, I like that. That's a good way to think about it as well. You can think about yourself as a diamond with different facets. You can think about yourself as a band.
Here she is. Summation's coming. Yes.
Can't help it. I'm channeling the summation. But okay, for me, because this is very important for me, all of this stuff at this moment in time when my roles are going to change, that I'm going to really try to remember is just like, stop, breathe and channel. Is that what you said before?
Yes.
And just
through the beef curtains.
Stop, breathe and channel through the beef curtains. What will I emerge from the beef curtains as?
What will come from the beef curtains?
Totally. And the other thing that came into my mind when you were speaking before was around how everyone wants to give you advice and tell you what to do. That's a whole other podcast. However, I think this is a really important time to stop, breathe and channel is when people say you should do this, you should do that, you should do this right now, you shouldn't do that or be that.
And again, what makes them say that? Because they've got a role in their mind. A certain role in their mind. It's like, you should play Poirot like this because I saw him play it like that.
Yeah, totally. Like, you should parent your child like this. You should do your accounts like this. You should do your sales, your business like this. Yeah. So I think whenever any of that comes up as well, it's just like, okay, stop, breathe, channel. What is right for me? What feels right for me right now? Ideally, the more you do that, the more you get to the place, as Lindsay does with improv, where you don't even have to ask, what do I need to be right now? It just comes. It's just a natural process, and it's always just staying true to that core, to that authenticity, and then just choosing those different facets depending on what feels right at that time.
Yes. And I feel like, I don't know why, but I feel like sometimes, you know, people feel like if they've got to play a role that they have to lose themselves in it.
Yeah.
And you don't have to lose yourself.
Yeah.
You can just use that as the script.
Yeah, totally. You is the core. You is the core. And the rest is just a character, a facet. A character, no, because that makes me think like you are being something different, maybe. But
I don't feel that, because like I said to you, even in Grumpy Old Man, there's me. I'm still there.
There's you.
I feel that I'm still there. I never lose myself in a character. Like I'm always still there. And I think the difference is kind of maybe between as well, like whoever that bloody guy, Stanislavski, or whoever that acting guy is that was about method acting, and you've got to do everything exactly like they would, and all this. Or you can just do Meisner and you can just improvise that character. So you've got the script, but you're improvising it as you. You're coming from a place of truth. Yeah. So it's like two very different ways to look at acting and two different ways to look at life, I guess. Some people feel like they've got to like research everything and I've got to be this person, it's got to be this, and become method. But a lot of method actors lack a bit of truth. There's like in their performance, there's just something not quite true about it. Whereas you see someone who's done Meisner and it's kind of like, wow, that's real. That's real, that shit.
And can I just say why I think that is so important is because we are all, whatever role we're in life, we are all craving to be connected to what we're doing, to other people predominantly. That is a fundamental human need, is we want to be connected, and we cannot truly be connected unless we are being truthful and being authentic. We just can't. So everything you just said then, like, you know, you've got to have the truth in order to be able to be the character correctly. Same with us, whatever role we're in, when we're authentic, we're then able to connect. And that's really the ultimate state that we're going for, right?
Yeah, because what is the one connecting factor, no matter what your role? The one connecting factor is we're a person.
Yeah.
We're people.
We're one person.
Yeah. Oh, hang on.
Like song. Is that a song?
We are one, but we are many. Yeah.
Yes. I knew there was something in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Have we gone a bit abstract now? Let's bring it back. Bring it back.
Bring it back. Yeah. Okay, well, I told you, I'm not, if you ask me to surmise, it's going to be abstract. That's how it's going to be.
Yes.
Because I'm just channeling.
I think you channeled it very well, darling. And and then I think I added some stuff. I can't remember what happened in the last 5 minutes. God damn it, I'm about to have a baby.
Yeah,
but
come on, guys.
The point is, just fucking stop trying to be something you ain't.
Yeah, just stop that shit, all right? Just be yourself.
Bye. No, I'm joking. Although that probably is.
That is you. I mean, that's what you would do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's... We're going to go into hysterics again. Okay, this has been Banterpreneurs. And we basically just want everyone out there to just be yourself because everyone else is taken.
Yes, and we also want everyone out there to please subscribe to our podcast whilst being
We're
yourself.
almost up to 3,000, guys. Just make that dream happen. Make it happen.
Please.
So we can play the role of successful podcasters. All right, just do it. Man.
All right, go forth.
Go forth. Be you.
Bye then. Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to Banterpreneurs. If you have a question for us to answer on the show, submit it on our website at banterpreneurs.com. And if you liked what you heard, give us a review and share the love with a fellow business mate. See you next week for more solopreneur shenanigans.